Hey there, Nancy here, and welcome back to another episode of Entrepreneur Rescue Mission. So this week I am excited to talk about, obviously a social media platform that my husband Scott and I absolutely love. It's specifically geared for networking and building amazing relationships and connections with people. And that platform is LinkedIn. Okay. So this week, I just wanted to share some of the updates around LinkedIn's algorithm. So I want to share a couple of those little tips and just give you a reminder, right? I don't want you guys to go overboard and really overly think too much about specific metrics and, different percentages and whatnot. I really want you to really instead kind of shift your mindset into creating content that your people would just care about. Okay. And that you can educate and obviously showcase your expertise, right? Instead of, oh my goodness, like I'm going to track like everything down to a T. Because here's the thing, I think a lot of people get tied up in what we call vanity metrics, likes, loves, shares, different things like that. And the reality is LinkedIn's algorithm works different than every other platform out there. Okay. In fact, that's the big thing that I like to bring up often. In fact, the majority of LinkedIn's users are what we call silent users, right? They're people who are scrolling and they're reading and they're looking at things and they're loving it, but they're not liking or sharing or engaging in any way. So LinkedIn's algorithm has had to actually, obviously bob and weave and work differently because it knows that the majority of its users are silent engagers. So that might leave you wondering, okay, well, what are some of the updates? What are some things that I can focus on? What is it that the algorithm is tracking just so that obviously you can create more effective content, make sure that you're showing up in the right way, and obviously getting the most out of LinkedIn in your time using it. So, what I want to share with you, so did a little bit of research. I know, Scott and I are actually having a lot of fun. Scott's getting ready to do the amateur to expert LinkedIn workshop coming up actually soon. So if you haven't registered, keep in mind you can just go to thetimetogrow.com/workshops and check out that workshop. It's coming up. It is one of our favorite ones. And Scott is really kicking it off and leading this one for us. So it's going to be a good one, but it teaches you all the ways to use LinkedIn, how to really get set up from optimizing your profile all the way to messaging. So it's a really valuable workshop to attend. So definitely put that on your calendar. I believe it's June 10th. So if you're listening to this episode and June 10th hasn't happened, it's not too late to sign up. So anyway, getting back to the algorithm. So according to a couple articles, that I read, one on Boffer.com, some of the metrics that LinkedIn uses to measure, right, the effectiveness of content, right? So if we're thinking about different types of content to create, it measures relevance, right? Which is the relevance of your post to your audience, right? Is what you're posting actually something that your audience cares about? Is it something that they're going to resonate with? The second thing that it focuses on is expertise, right? Are you an expert in the area that you're talking about? There are different ways on LinkedIn to showcase your expertise. Obviously, you have certain topics that you consistently talk about, but you can contribute to articles, right? You can do different things. In fact, LinkedIn does that now, where it actually, for many people who have been using LinkedIn and making connections and using it in the right way, will actually recommend certain articles that you can contribute and add your input on. So anyway, doing that will kick up your expertise and really, make it so that LinkedIn wants to share you, obviously, with this audience a little bit more. And then the third thing that it's measuring in your content is engagement. So again, I said the majority of people are silent users, but it does track, right? If you are starting conversations with people, if you're posting thoughts and ideas and different things like that, are people engaging in a positive way? And that could be through the comments, that could be on a poll. There's different ways to do that, which we're going to get into shortly. But anyway, so the three again are relevance, your expertise, and your engagement, right? So those are three ways that it really looks at your content and it goes, is this something that I really want to push out there for you or not? And then the other thing that I want you to keep in mind is you've got to do the things, right? In order to make sure that you're most effective. And whenever I say do all the things, it's not just posting content, it's showing up. It's engaging with other people. It's connecting with the right audience. Okay. It's kind of like this big old snowball that it all works together and it collectively picks up traction as you roll down the hill. And I want to put it to you this way. If you were just posting on LinkedIn and not doing any connecting, how does that make any sense? Right? Like if you were to be connected to 12 people, right? These are 12 people who would see your stuff. Yes, maybe you add a hashtag and there's people who follow that hashtag could, obviously see some of your things, but that's going to be way less effective. You're going to get way less engagement. You're going to get way less eyeballs on your stuff. So it makes sense, right, to actually make those connections with your ideal audience, because as your audience grows by having more followers and more connections, your content will be seen to more people, which in turn will obviously showcase your expertise, make sure your ideal clients know exactly what you do. And whenever they go to search for you and hire you, they feel really good about it because you know your stuff. Okay. So grow that audience, make sure that you're daily, you're connecting, you're doing all those things, you're engaging, right? So if you have an ideal client who is just awesome, make sure that you are engaging, with them and their client, the content as well. They post a poll, make sure that you participate. They have an article that they release. You can share your thoughts on the article. These things don't go unnoticed, and it's all part of the framework to really build up and help, right? How you're showing up on LinkedIn and also how much LinkedIn's going to push you out there. So if you're just doing a little piece of the puzzle, it's going to be less effective. So you got to do all the things. Okay. So there's a couple tips on how to post content that'll get a little bit more traction for you and help the algorithm out for you in your favor. So the first is, and actually I thought this was a great tip. Andy Crestodina, who is the owner of Orbit Media, he is absolutely wonderful. He's actually one of my favorite content creators, has amazing content on LinkedIn. Definitely recommend you check him out. But Andy Crestodina was recently on Social Media Examiner on their podcast, and he shared, right, some of the content that is really resonating the most, right? It's getting the most traction with people. And that content is when you share your opinion or your expertise on a hot topic. Right. So, what I mean is, let's say you were in the health insurance industry and some really big things kind of bubbled up, and it's a lot of, conversation that's going on in the health insurance industry, or even with small businesses or businesses, whatever size that you work with. Let's say you're a health insurance broker and you work with a lot of manufacturing companies. Maybe there was a big thing that just got passed, or, maybe there's a big focus on something in particular in the manufacturing industry. You can share your thoughts on it, right? Hey, what do you guys think about this? I feel like, right? Share a couple key takeaways. But the one thing that I want to remind you guys, it is not to start an argument, right? You don't want to get out there and go, you know what, I really hate this, and blah, blah, blah. It is not negative. Okay. In fact, we always advise people to use the filters. Is what I'm about to say truthful? Is it necessary? And is it kind? So, of course, you want to share your expertise. You want to share all that good stuff. In a kind and wonderful way, with the intention of to create a little conversation, right? Get a little back and forth going, get your audience more engaged to really talk about and share, their thoughts on it. And again, that will create really, really good content, and LinkedIn will be more inclined to boost it out because you're having healthy comments, you're having healthy engagement. That's exactly what people come to LinkedIn for. Okay. So again, sharing your opinion or your unique perspective on a specific topic is very good. Okay. Rule of thumb, don't make it political or about religion, right? Stay out of the argument space. Number two is to post content that really showcases you as the expert, right? These are topics that are maybe pain points for your ideal clients within your zone of genius, right? So let's say, again, if you are a business coach or someone who helps people create sales funnels or something like that, you can post, right, 3 tips how to build, your website. Or, if you're in the health insurance industry, you could post things like, top 3 tips how to have an amazing open enrollment, season. Or, here's the outline of a perfect agenda, for HRs to meet with, their people prior to I don't know, open enrollment. Anyway, just throwing some random ideas out here, but you want to showcase your expertise, right? And this could be in the form of the newsletters that you write, the articles on LinkedIn, where it's a little bit longer form content and you can really get it out there. You can also share this as a video, okay? And that's my third little tip is post a video. Okay, 2 to 5 minute video. That's all I'm talking about. And it could be just like this, guys. I'm actually shooting this on Zoom right now. It's the same thing, right? You just go into a meeting by yourself. Hello, and share just like I'm doing right here. Okay, hit the record button, record a 2 to 5 minutes, something short. Okay, it doesn't even have to be 2 to 5 minutes, could be under 2 minutes, but get on there and share, a tip, that is going to help your audience, something educational and the big thing that I just want to note for this is when it comes to video, AI content right now is out there and it's so generic and there's so much, people are just spitting out generic content. Yes, AI can do a lot of things. I know they can even create videos that look like you, but really, let's be real, okay? No one is you. No one can show up on camera and be you and have these conversations just like I'm doing with you right now. That just doesn't, it's not real. So we want to make sure that you show up on video, build that know, like, and trust. It's actually one of the best ways to do that with your audience. They can get to know you, feel a little bit more connected. And again, it's you sharing and showcasing your expertise, right? So do the video. Now, the three, just to recap again, how to create content that's really good on LinkedIn right now to help boost that algorithm, get you out there a little bit more. Number one, share your opinion or your unique perspective on a popular topic. Number two, showcase your expertise. Number three, post that video. Okay. So those are just a couple tips. But remember, you're going to learn so much more if you signed up for Scott, okay, my husband's, Scott Aaron's LinkedIn workshop. And it's the Amateur to Expert workshop. It's amazing. Like this, this workshop is just like pure gold, guys. If you want to really look at LinkedIn as, implementing a really amazing place to connect and engage and do so much with your business and, meeting amazing people. So anyway, back to the point, right, is sign up for the workshop at www.thetimetogrowcom/workshops and get in there. Again, I think the workshop, I believe it's on June 10th. So definitely sign up. You are not going to regret it. It's absolutely amazing and hope you enjoy. Have a great week.